host, Toni J. And my amazing co-host today is the one and only, and my coach, proud to say, Michelle Snow from Snow Network. Take it away, Michelle.
Oh, wow. Okay. Boom. That's how you're going to do it. You're going to just drop this thing off.
Hey, Michelle.
Oh, my
Totally
gosh.
I get my show over.
Well,
Fast.
first of all, we are all elated and grateful to be here, a part of this amazing opportunity that you put before us. We know, Toni J, that you've been working real hard, supporting and pushing millionaires and leaders and executives and public figures. So we know that we are in a good place. It just feels like money, right? Yes. Okay. We got the greenery. So we're going to jump right into our introductions and let everyone know who is here with us today. So why not start with the queen? All right, so if you can go ahead and probably in just a few seconds introduce yourself really briefly.
Okay, I am Mama Akosua Lisa Bree. Some people call me the General. I am the CEO of the Kumba Family Institute and the program director of the annual International Law Conference, Natural Hair, Holistic Health and Beauty Expo. This is our 25th year.
Yeah, all right.
I'm also a publisher and an author and a number of other things.
Wonderful. So glad to have you here.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. All right, let's go ahead.
So, hello, my name is Joel Wilson. I am a lifelong entrepreneur. I'm CEO of JCW Computer Consulting, 20 plus years. But today I'm here to talk to you about my STEM program, Tech Core 2, which we founded back in 2015.
Awesome.
And we are currently running 8 STEM programs this summer.
Excellent.
STEM.
I love
That's
it.
right.
Feel that good, smart, intelligent, powerful energy in the room. Well, we're not done yet. All right, Queen, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi. Yes, my name is Bonnie Harmon, and I am the Community Outreach Chair on the Avenue of the Arts on South Broad Street here in Philadelphia. And I've run many of special events on South Broad Street and bringing the community together.
Awesome.
Excellent. So glad to have you. Thank you.
Powerhouse in the,
Yes.
in the house today.
Broad Street,
That's right.
Avenue of the Arts. Excuse me.
Yes.
All right, let's take it home, Pastor.
Sure. So I'm Sean Edmonds, and I'm the CEO of Ascension Tech and Design Group, and I'm also the senior pastor of Capacity Church.
And what is it that you do?
Well, I have a technology and digital marketing company, so we specialize in helping small businesses and enterprises to market on social media and also identify the systems that they need to implement within their business to streamline their processes.
That's right. Everybody's on that
Excellent.
7-figure hustle. So
That's right.
hey,
We got to get it done.
that's right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, our leading host and executive producer, she thought that she was going to get away with not telling us who she was, but I truly did save the best for last. So, host and 7-figure hustle creator, tell us a little bit about you and why you created this platform to be able to encourage our guests and the community.
And that's the word was, okay? So that means I'm past tense, so should I go on?
Yes, please.
All right, well, my name is Toni J, and I started this platform to have other people host their show on my show because I'm so far out of my comfort zone being in front of the camera, but I am so passionate about teaching the power of financial literacy because I had a mini stroke a while back and I learned that they only want to give me 3 figures to live off of. My mortgage was 700. So I've learned that we have to learn how this money works. We have to understand in our communities that there are things that we can do. There are things that we can seek out to learn because you don't have to stay where you are. Because it's not, and the main thing is start teaching these young folks how the money works. Because you need at least $1 million to live a comfortable life. And that's just now.
Right.
And as 10 years from now, because remember, everything went up with our paychecks. And then to be on a 40-40 plan, not knocking a job, but being on a 40-40 plan, 40 years, 40% of your income. You didn't make it off 100.
Right.
So you're working 40 hours for 40 years to get 40%. So I'm on a mission. So anybody I can have on my show, so if you got a show up there you went, just let me know.
That's right.
But
Well,
it's amazing.
well, that's a perfect segue because you mentioned the youth, and that's one of the reasons why we invited our very own Joel Wilson here, who is wearing a few hats, probably about 17, if I was to be honest. He's got at least 17 hats right underneath of there. But today he wants to do a lean and talk about the youth in our community. So, as one who has created a nonprofit where you emphasize and push young children towards a career that could really bring them incredible wealth. Tell us about what that looked like in your mind and what are some of the results that you are getting with these children today?
Okay, well, thank you. That's a great question. So I was fortunate growing up here in Philadelphia. So I was actually in 2 programs when I was in high school. I was first in a program called AFNA, African Foundation for Negro Affairs. And there, right after 8th grade, I was learning how to program on an IBM System 34 mini computer. So that was a great, great experience, taking classes at Temple University straight out of 8th grade. So when I went to high school, when I showed up at Central, I told them that I needed geometry for 9th grade and biology.
Go
And
ahead.
I argued them down so much, they just gave it to me.
Wow.
So I
Powerful.
took those classes for my freshman year. And then later I was in a program called PRIME, Philadelphia Regional Introduction for Minorities to Engineering. So there I took classes in the summertime at Penn and Drexel, and then stayed at Villanova for a month. So now when I'm running my computer business and I'm interacting, working with charter schools, and I'm trying to encourage them to create true STEM, true computer science programs, you know, a lot of people would say, yes, 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 but no one did it. So I said, you know what, let me just go ahead and pull my nickels together and create something. So I created Tech Core 2. We actually teach true computer science. We're teaching multiple languages, a lot of different technologies. And we're in our 5th year now. And we are, this summer we're serving about 200 kids, and through the whole school year we'll serve an additional 200. So we're touching about 400 kids in a year. I've got 9 college students right now on payroll. We have 12 high school kids on payroll, and then we're going out to camps all around the city providing coding instruction. So we built a sustainable infrastructure. So I could tell my high school kids today that if you stay in Philly for college, you are guaranteed to have a job. I will absolutely hire every single one of you. And then my college students, when you talk about some of the results, I have a young man right now who's an industrial engineer at Postal Service. I have a young lady, she is mechanical engineer, she's working locally. I know Brandon, I believe he's working at Turner Construction, civil engineering, construction management, and the list just goes on and on. Frank, he's from Cameroon, he's working at
Not Frank, but Frank.
Frank.
Okay, I'm gonna get that right.
F-R-A-N-C-K.
Okay.
Cameroon, he's from Cameroon, graduated Temple Electrical Engineering, he's at Amtrak.
Well, let me ask you a question before we get some more conversation and feedback on it. You are helping them create wealth by what? Helping them to be able to land the job of their dream, to start companies? Because some of us are hearing STEM and STEAM, and what is he saying? Is it STEAMing? Is it STEMing? What does that mean, and what kind of income can come from that?
So STEM, it stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. And so there are just great jobs and careers and business opportunities from it. So the reason I'm focused on STEM is because in our community we complain about there's not enough jobs, and we complain about the salary. So in STEM, both of those issues are off the table. There's plenty of jobs and there's high salaries. So then
What does that mean? What is high salaries?
the average salary in a STEM career here in Philly is going to start at a minimum $50,000.
There you go. Excellent. And so do they need to go to college as well?
Not always.
Right.
You can come out of high school. If you come out of high school with the right training, you can go straight into the workforce. Some folks may need to go to a community college or a 12-month program. There's various programs out there. And then for those who want to go to college, one of the things we do too is we provide support. So we have a young lady. She's at Lincoln. She went through our program. She's getting $4,000 a year. Our program is now a partner with 100 Black Men. So she's on 100 Black Men scholarship, getting $4,000 a year to go to Lincoln University.
So my hope is that everybody who's at home, here in the studio audience, is seeing and hearing that Joel didn't wait for someone to give him a door.
Right.
Joel saw a wall, He had a few sledgehammers at home. He had some boots. And it sounds like you just kind of kicked that sucker in. And now 5 years later, how many kids later?
So this summer is 200 kids. I got 9 college students right now on payroll.
So we have the ability and the power daily to create our own wealth. So kudos to you. I'm going to come back to you in just a moment because I feel that beautiful energy rising up. We got a queen in the building, okay? All right, so I'm going to kind of just go to the opposite side of the couch. Pastor.
Yes.
You are working with children who are dealing and facing a lot of what they may see or deem as economic crisis. You have a book bag giveaway coming up.
Yep.
And so you're seeing a different type of family come through your community. So how is wealth, poverty, and mindset impacting those whom you are serving?
Well, I think that the one thing that we do is that we're teaching our churches that money is not a bad word. And oftentimes when people think about religion and church, money is shied away from. And it's not God's intention, nor it is his design for us to live in poverty or being broke. Jesus had money, right? His ministry had money to be able to function and operate. So what we do is that we focus not just on talking about God's going to get you through this and all that other good stuff. We really equip them with financial literacy, financial classes. We have a lot of entrepreneurs in our congregation. So this year we've done something called Think Tank, where it was inviting Christian entrepreneurs and business owners to equip them to be able to excel in the marketplace. So we discussed about finances, understanding your business finances. We talked about marketing. We talked about branding. We went through the sales process. We talked about your business and your foundation and everything that went along with running a successful business.
Step by step.
Exactly, because we see that that's a missing piece to really empowering people to be truly the own designers of their destiny, you know, of course in alignment with God. So we're doing that in addition to, we're starting next year an entrepreneurship summer camp for children to teach them how to start businesses, to teach them how to build something, additional streams of revenue and income, and not necessarily have to be committed to someone working a 9 to 5. I did that for 14 years now, and finally like, okay, I'm gonna launch out and stop building everybody else's dream and build my own. So that's what we're focusing on. So it's not just about take. We're giving intangible ways of showing them how to generate income for themselves through additional streams of revenue that by building businesses.
Well, before we bring the ladies in on this powerful conversation, I want to ask you a question. What do you have to help them overcome in their minds that prevents them from maybe getting to the success that you see for them?
I think the biggest thing is doubt. A lot of people struggle with whether or not I can do this. And so it's a lot of encouragement and edification that goes into helping them to see the gift that God placed inside of them and helping them to see the greatness that they possess and living that out. So it's really through a series of encouraging them to just see what their possibilities are. Our church is called Capacity for a reason, because we want people to see the capacity of opportunities inside of themselves that God has created in his world. So really overcoming the mindset of doubt and fear. And what I've discovered is that a lot of people are not necessarily fearful of failing. They're fearful of, what do I do if I succeed?
Absolutely.
That's the secret that we're all finding
Exactly.
out.
So we're teaching them how to really understand there's a balancing act that you got to perform in order to maintain the success that you want to achieve. And so that's a big part of it. Just overcoming the mindset of doubt and fear is the biggest thing.
And I may win. Go ahead.
I'm going to jump in and say, because a lot of times people feel their jobs are safe.
Right.
If I go to work and if I have work, I'm still going to get paid on Friday. If I go up there and be on my phone all day, I'm going to get paid on Friday, but you're still working for someone else.
Yeah.
So because a lot of people don't understand that your job should finance or can finance your dream.
Right.
And always teach children that, like, for birthdays and graduation, invitations. I gave out businesses this year.
Oh my goodness.
That's awesome.
That's what G-Mom gave out?
Right.
G-Mom gave out businesses.
You didn't give out cookies, you gave out businesses.
No,
Yes.
only place we shop, you know my father. Getting nowhere. You
Yes.
know, this is how it is.
Excellent.
I gave out banks. I took them to the bank and opened up accounts.
Right.
It's like you have to start somewhere. I want to be the first one in my family to break that cycle of debt.
Absolutely.
Right.
Or at least if I don't do the monetary, I can really say I left the knowledge.
Right.
And then hopefully my G babies will pick it up and go from there.
Right.
Because we need to learn this.
You did an
Yes.
excellent job. I'm glad
That's
that
my
you
passion,
added.
though. I mean,
Yes.
teaching these kids is my passion. She knows. It's
Absolutely.
just
Well, that was your whole motivation behind even going here.
right.
And so
Right.
before the Queen comes and wraps up and kind of powers us through all this great energy that we're having, Bonnie, what would you like to add?
Okay, I would like to add on to what these gentlemen had already put out there on the floor. I'm sorry, what is your name again?
Sure.
Joel. Okay, I like to ask questions because I used to be on the school board for like 9 years with the Agora Cyber Charter School, and at one time I topped, throughout the whole state over 14,000 students as far as enrollment, and I always used to encourage parents, hey, it's not enough. It's never enough time to put in for your child, including what the state has to offer as far as curriculum and education. Okay, so as far as what you have for your plan, for your business, as far as what capacity, as far as brick and mortar, and how long do you have your children involved in your program?
Okay.
So a couple questions. Hopefully I have them all down. So far as our capacity, I actually started running my program out of my main company's office in Overbrook Park. So I bought a duplex and turned it into office space. So that's where we were running. So we have 3 classrooms in that location.
Okay.
We outgrew that space. So one of our clients is at 39th and Powelton Avenue. And so we negotiated with them and basically took a suite down in there. So we have 3, it's a commercial building, 3 large classrooms, and then we have a 4th conference room we can use. There, our capacity, we can handle on a Saturday about 180 kids. The way we have our timing set up and things like that. We're expanding in the fall. We're now going to be at a school in Mount Airy, McCleskey Elementary School, so we're going to have 2 campuses we're running this fall. Okay. And then I just met with, I'm not going to disclose the name, but it's a local university, and it looks like we're going to be able to expand into their environment. So that goal is for next summer. So I'm looking really to ramp this up. I just came from PYN today. We had several of our students presenting part of their Work Ready, and we were one of the 7 chosen sites to present down there.
And PYN stands for?
Philadelphia Youth Network.
Yeah.
And we participate in the Summer Work Ready program. So I'm already talking with them and expanding our program. They've actually asked us for the last 2 summers to go beyond 15 kids, but I just held it there. But next summer we're going to go past the 15.
And I think you also asked the program length, which is?
So in the summer, most of our programs are between 6 and 8 weeks. In the fall and spring, we run 8 Saturday programs. So they come for 8 Saturdays, and it's an hour and a half for the class.
Excellent. So this is a great time for us to maybe kind of blend these conversations and really talk about how money, faith, financing, science, engineering, math, all of this leads to how it impacts the Black economy, Black families. So it looks like we're getting ready to take a quick break. And we're going to come right back in just a moment with the one and the only, the Queen, everybody. Hold your seats, get your coffee. No, just stay right there. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the 7-Figure Hustle with my amazing co-host. What's your name?
I am the Michelle Snow, correct?
That's Michelle Snow. You heard it here first. No, Michelle Snow, amazing coach. So we're having an awesome conversation.
We are.
So she's going to introduce amazing person now that's been sitting here quiet with a smile.
Well, as you can see, because you've been tuned in, we've had some really powerful conversations about how we're engaging our youth around the city, including
Yes.
arts. And I wanted to kind of wrap and summarize this conversation about how Black wealth, relationships, mindset also has the other element of Black economics, and how it's a little slightly different for our community than it is for others. So I want to introduce to some and present to even more. This is the Queen, Mama Akusawa.
Give her her props, y'all.
Well, you know, it was interesting that Tony J talked about people going to work on a job. And I've always talked to my clients about the fact that faith, and Sean talked about faith, Joel talked about faith, being able to get out there. None of the people who actually go in these jobs know that their employer can pay them. They actually go to work on faith. They don't see the checkbooks, they don't see the bank accounts. They don't really know that if they put in those 40 hours or that 8 hours, well, they're actually going to get paid. And that we have now in our communities a number of businesses closing. We have now in our community, Hanneman just closed. Look how many jobs are lost. And it's interesting that when we had our own hospitals, people thought we should go somewhere else. Is that the Black economy has a lot to do with the survival of our community. That a lot of times we think that, it's interesting you mentioned about money, that it's about not actually the gaining of money, but the fact that you deserve it.
Right.
And that in our community, we've been taught that money is the root of all evil. And that so a lot of us have taken on a vow of poverty. You know, that we think that
Yes.
if you are living a good life, and when I mean a good life is that you're talking to your relatives.
Right.
You're doing what Tony G did. You're looking at how we can all rise together. That is something that traditionally Black folks have done for each other. And that somewhere along the line we lost that. And part of that is because we're not tuned into our culture. And that our culture of race first is okay. It's okay to say, I want to uplift my people. It's okay to say, I want to take care of home first, and then I can spread out to other folks. And that's one of the things that we do at the Kumba Family Institute is that whether it's vocational training, whether it's massage, whether it's counseling, whether it's how to eat right, all of that has to do with us feeling that we deserve to do that we have a duty to our ancestors to do that we have a duty to the children who are yet unborn to do that. We have to
Right.
start at home first. So I really push culture as part of building Black economics. That a lot of times we segment things, we fragment it, like our health is over here, our politics is over here, our education is over here, our relationships over here. But the underlining pin of that is our culture, how we interact with each other, the
Right.
love that we show to each other. In order for Joel to put out his own money and do what he needs to do, he really had to love, one, what he did, and two, the people. That if we don't do that, then we're not successful at doing that. So I would encourage our listeners that first being aware of your own culture and understanding that historically we have invented everything. That
Wow.
there's no reason that we don't have what we need because we are making
Yes.
every other nationality rich.
Yes.
We are taking care and sending all kinds of people's children to school. We are building all kinds of neighborhoods. And then we look around at our neighborhoods and wonder why we aren't doing that because we haven't put ourselves first.
Absolutely.
So we need to do that and know that it's okay. That matter of fact, when we do that, we take care of everybody else because everybody else actually follows what we do.
Absolutely.
You know,
Music, culture, everything.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, most assuredly. So I'm excited about not only the Kumba Institute, but I mentioned when I first started the annual International Law Conference, Natural Hair, Holistic Health and Beauty Expo. It's not just a conference. We've been doing it for 25 years, but one of the reasons that we do it is that we show people that it's okay to spend dollars with ourselves. It's okay to just have an idea and come ask somebody about how you can grow it. Is that's the other thing that we don't do. We don't go to each other to get the information. That if it doesn't come from other people outside of us, we think it's not legitimate.
Right.
But actually, we've been able to go from one day, 7 vendors, to 2 days, an entire school building, over 120 vendors from around the country, and presenters from around the world. You know, and that we've done on our own without grants, without begging
Mainstream
people to do.
media.
Yes.
Right.
That we only work on having ourselves show our children that we can do things.
Absolutely.
You know, and that the more we show people that we can do things, the more successful we are.
Well, that was exactly the powerful ending and the summary that I wanted. I wanted us to dig deeply and to see ourselves in a way that we continue to be motivated beyond what's in our hand. You know, I think that so often we're in a society and a culture where it's about the bag, and the get it and the look. But I wanted us to get that well-rounded conversation that be unapologetic about loving God, about trusting God, and knowing that you are spirit, and that we're providing a legacy, and that we've got skill sets, and you can be educated, and that we can have art, and we got a G-mom who's leaving a legacy. So our time is about done here. So I'm going to ask everyone to, in 15 seconds or less, I'm always in these odd time frames, 15 seconds, point 33. If you could just leave a word of encouragement to our viewers today about mindset or whatever it is that the Creator is putting on you. We're going to start with Pastor Edmonds.
Oh, jeez. I think what I would say is that we oftentimes celebrate history and forget our responsibility to continue creating it. And so that we need to really undergird the initiative to do something that's innovative today while we're still celebrating and standing on the shoulders of our ancestors. So we need to continue doing that.
Yes.
Continue to do that. Right?
Yes.
And so that's really important to me to encourage that in people.
Continue. Hashtag continue. Right? Yes.
Okay. Well, as myself and as far as sharing with everyone, I think distractions as much as important over anything. Anywhere you go, as far as dealing with children, they have to learn not to be placed in certain situations. They have to learn not to be so distracted. So that's a major thing. So they can't even focus on their own culture, because if they leave and go home and come back, whatever, there's something going on there. So it's this distraction is the big.
All right, that's your hashtag, distractions.
Distractions.
Those are two good ones so far. We're bringing it home. Joe Wilson.
So I just want to say, for folks who are out there and they have young children, we are getting kids started at kindergarten to learn how to code. So this fall, our Saturday classes are starting up. So I just want to say techcore2.org, 215-879-6701, and you can get your kids signed up.
And what's your hashtag?
Hashtag is STEM.
All right. Clever. Keep it simple.
Yes.
Yes, Queen.
So I would suggest that people study more, talk less, which means you're not going to be distracted, and take strategic action so that we are promoting culture and love of ourselves.
Yes.
I love it. Well, I'm just going to end by saying that I will take one other piece of advice that we get every Wednesday morning, which is to breathe deeply.
Yes.
Breathe deeply, like physically, literally stop, center yourself, breathe, pray, meditate, and call out goodness on your life and your mindset. You know, we saw those movies years ago as kids and thought those people were weird or was just for TV. And here we are finding out decades later that those were some of the solutions that got people to their greatness. Speaking well over yourself. And I know if you grow up in church, we hear it in church, but we didn't know how to practice it, right? We knew how to dance and shout it away. Hallelujah! But we didn't know how to make it as a part of our lifestyle. So I want to encourage people to call forth goodness on yourself. When you begin to lie to yourself and say, well, maybe not me, and this wasn't for me, because you're going to have that moment, because you're in this thing called a meat suit. It's always distracting us. It's getting fat. It's doing all kinds of other things. Mine today caught me to drink coffee and fried chicken. I was just all upset.
Okay.
What I'm saying is you've got to overcome these distractions, continue to pursue and to continue. You've got to find skill sets, and you absolutely got to know that you are special and created to win.
Wow. That was a mouthful. And with that being said, I want to thank our guests for coming in today. Thank you, Michelle Snow, being my co-host. If you have a show idea and it's about positivity, it's about the financial situations we're in, hit us up on Facebook at The 7-Figure Hustle. And remember, don't go broke trying to prove you're not broke to people who are broke. See you next week.
Count it. Count it. In the kitchen, go Sinano. Yeah, money not a